So I've heard players say, including myself, I feared Mike. I've heard players in your generation say they feared Kobe. I've never really heard any players say they fear LeBron.
So I didn't think players really feared LeBron like they did Jordan.
Let's cut through the noise for a moment. We've all seen the endless rankings, debates, and hot takes, but have you ever noticed who never makes Shaq's personal Mount Rushmore? That's no coincidence. Over the years, Shaq has been sending subtle signals, tossing some shade, and now, he's finally blown the lid off. He revealed the real reason why the so-called king hasn't earned a spot at the adults table, and trust me, once you hear it, there's no going back.
You were oozing joy before the game. Cameras caught you dancing. Where did that joy come from tonight?
That's always me. I don't know. I mean, it's always, I'm a goofy ass 41-year-old kid. I mean, I think people should know that by now, right? I think that's, yeah, that's just me. I'm just a goofy, I get to play basketball. Like, they pay me to play basketball. Like, why wouldn't I be happy about that? I get to be with my son and my teammates and people, all these unbelievable fans. They've watched me throughout my career and they give me all the support and love. And it's like I enjoy my, I said work. It's not even, I enjoy what I do. So have fun. You see me on the court, see me in the back. I just love what I do. So it's pretty.
Before we get lost in the drama, here's the real question. Did LeBron actually earn his crown, or did the media hand it to him just for sticking around? Veterans from past eras still talk about the chill of facing Michael Jordan or the icy glare of Kobe Bryant, but no one ever admitted fear of LeBron. That's the heart of Shaq's argument. The old NBA felt like a battlefield, raw and unforgiving, while today's game is softer, led by a superstar who celebrates before the opening tip and builds his GOAT resume on stats that critics argue Jordan would have demolished in this era. And believe it or not, that's not even what finally pushed Shaq over the edge.
So I've heard players say, including myself, I feared Mike. I've heard players in your generation say they feared Kobe. I've never really heard any players say they fear LeBron.
So I didn't think players really feared LeBron like they did Jordan.
I never heard anybody say it.
And it's not that you shouldn't fear LeBron. I just think at the end of the day, LeBron has been through so much that he wanted to be liked. So it was kind of like,
and he was a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna do very things nice. Now where like people like me, people respect. You're always gonna respect what he did, but you actually like Bron and want to be a fan of Bron now. So I think that's what that was.
Shaquille O'Neal has stayed quiet for years, but now he's finally had enough. Between the oddball industry parties, the questionable fashion statements, and what he sees as outright disrespect to the legends who actually built the league, Shaq is speaking his truth. Here's the bottom line: the NBA used to thrive on mental toughness and psychological warfare. But somehow LeBron James has transformed the world's fiercest basketball arena into something resembling a high school variety show. Think about it, the Lakers were scrambling to save their playoff hopes, and their leader goes on national TV calling himself a goofy kid. And this is the player the media wants you to put on the same level as Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant? Shaq's respect for LeBron didn't vanish over rings. It disappeared because the so-called king seems more focused on showmanship than inspiring genuine fear on the court. Take a look at LeBron's pregame routines, and the contrast is striking. Back in the 90s, facing the Bulls meant seeing Michael Jordan lock eyes with you, calculating exactly which part of your game he would dismantle that night. Step onto Kobe's court, and the Mamba stare alone could make seasoned players forget their own plays. Now, with LeBron, it's TikTok dances, awkward warm-ups, shirtless flexing, and those strange group squats with teammates. It feels less like a team gearing up for battle and more like a middle school drama rehearsal. Shaq has been the loudest critic, highlighting how those cringeworthy clips reveal why the fear factor is non-existent. For Shaq, greatness isn't about popularity, it's about pure dominance. You can't call yourself king if the league treats you like a buddy. And it goes deeper than personality. It's about a complete lack of intimidation. Even Kevin Garnett admitted years ago that the Boston Celtics never feared LeBron, they didn't respect the aura and didn't believe he could take all 5 of them down alone. Think about the stories surrounding Michael Jordan. Players literally hesitated to step onto the court, frozen by the sheer intensity he radiated. Shaq's philosophy couldn't have been more different. show up, dominate, crush the rim, break the other team's spirit, and leave. No flashy dances, no extra theatrics. That's why fear doesn't even register with today's stars. You can't intimidate anyone who calls himself a goofy kid right after a tough loss. Icons like Shaq aren't upset about LeBron's stats, they're frustrated by the energy he carries. The man considered the best of his era acts with the emotional tone of a teenager endlessly scrolling through social media, and for the old school legends, that disconnect was glaring. But the tipping point? The moment Shaq and his generation truly seemed to lose faith in LeBron James came after the 2016 Cavaliers' legendary comeback against the Warriors, a game that shocked the basketball world and marked a turning point in how even the greats viewed him.
You feel like you can break LeBron at this point?
We broke LeBron.
In Game 5.
So get your ass out of here with that, all right? You understand how you got to Cleveland, how you got to Miami, Bill? We didn't give a fuck about LeBron. We didn't fear LeBron, and we didn't think that he can beat all 5 of us. If you had D-Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron over in this corner, you had me, T.A., I'm just making these names up, maybe Paul and Rondo right here.
Yeah.
It'll be a what's up, and it'll be cool and respect, but it won't be any like fraternizing. It ain't gonna be like, yo, I'm the family. It won't be none of that. No, it's real. They don't fuck with us.
Forever, huh?
We don't fuck with them.
LeBron didn't wait for anyone to hand him the crown. He stared into the camera and declared himself the greatest, bypassing writers, fans, and even the legends before him. That bold move immediately put him at odds with the old school icons. Back in Shaq, Jordan, and Kobe's era, dominance spoke for itself. You didn't announce it. You forced everyone else to acknowledge it because they were too busy getting crushed on the court to argue. Jordan never had to hold a press conference to prove he was the best. He simply collected 6 championships without ever needing a Game 7 in the finals. LeBron, on the other hand, leans on validation, marketing, and the symbolism of tattoos to sell the story, sometimes letting perception outweigh the hard facts. And the media only fuels it, pointing to his longevity and all-time scoring record as proof. But let's be real, that record came after more than 20 seasons, whereas Jordan claimed 10 scoring titles in roughly 11 years, and LeBron has just 1. When it comes to sheer, unstoppable peak dominance, he's not even close to Shaq's level, and that gap is exactly why the old guard still raises an eyebrow. Back in the early 2000s, Shaq was basically unstoppable, a one-man cheat code who carried his team to 3 straight championships, claiming finals MVP each time and leaving a record in the finals that few could touch. Contrast that with LeBron, whose history on basketball's biggest stage includes more losses than wins, meaning when the pressure peaks, he's statistically more likely to walk away empty-handed. Jordan never left anything to chance. He didn't need super teams or perfect scenarios to prove himself. That's the real sore spot for legends like Shaq, who watched as icons such as Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Jordan honed their craft relentlessly before claiming glory, rather than chasing shortcuts. LeBron, however, has turned the league into a series of calculated moves. The 2010 decision announcing his Cleveland exit to join Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh after failing to beat the Celtics alone, then returning to Cleveland with Kyrie Irving, and finally heading to Los Angeles to link up with Anthony Davis. To Shaq, this isn't brilliance, it's orchestration. Instead of asserting dominance through raw will, LeBron engineered situations, stacking the deck in his favor rather than letting the game and the challenge define him. That's exactly why Shaq, when asked to name his all-time starting 5, left LeBron off entirely, opting for legends like Kobe, Jordan, and even Steph Curry instead. LeBron's story is undeniably one of longevity and an athletic career long enough to pad counting stats that look untouchable on paper, but Shaq's story is about a level of peak dominance that LeBron never quite reached. Jordan had 5 MVPs and 10 scoring titles. Kobe earned 5 rings and commanded respect without a single PR campaign. Meanwhile, LeBron carries a losing finals record and a habit of changing teams as casually as people swap socks. So the real question is clear. Do you crown a king who conquered through blood, sweat, and loyalty? Or someone who chased records and shortcuts while letting circumstances dictate the path? Shaq made his answer long ago. And the current narrative? Some of it is laughable. LeBron actually argued that playing 82 games today is tougher than enduring the physical brutality of the 90s. Pointing to pace and space like sprinting in an open gym could match getting elbows in your ribs from Bill Laimbeer. It's classic spin, trying to equate speed with struggle while ignoring the fact that back then, the paint was basically a battlefield. Shaquille O'Neal's view of greatness explains exactly why he left LeBron James out of his all-time starting 5. For Shaq and other old-school legends, the crown isn't decided by longevity or record-breaking numbers, it's earned through dominance, toughness, and loyalty to the game. Shaq believes that today's NBA, with its softer rules and reduced physicality, has made it easier for players to extend careers and stack statistics, which is why he often questions the weight of LeBron's longevity. To him, greatness is about imposing your will on the league the way icons like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant did, through relentless competitiveness and peak dominance. That's why Shaq's message is clear: the true king of basketball isn't just the player with the longest resume, but the one who earned the league's respect through grit, sacrifice, and an unbreakable competitive spirit. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to the channel and come back for more videos like this. Your support means everything.